Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly manga chapter review of Hunter x Hunter. That baby, that final panel, that baby is getting an N-Beast. And we're getting to see the first glimpses of it. I'm curious exactly what it really looks like and maybe how strong it is. Like, let me go to this final page here and actually get a full glimpse of, the page and the baby. So, the final page ends off where Kurapika, he's walking off, and behind him you see this dark, menacing aura just pop up from the baby's crib. And then he turns around, and then nothing's there. And looking at this, rereading the chapter multiple times, I've reread it about 3 to 4 times now, we see the mother in distress. Like, she's shaking, she's distressed. She just found out that she can actually possibly live, thanks to Kurapika. He found a way for she can be able to live through this entire ordeal and not die. And the mother was saying, I was already determined to die. I already expected to die. I didn't think there was any hope. And then she starts shaking, and you start to see worry and sweat. And it goes to show you that she's very distressed. She's kind of shocked. And as soon as this happens, when she's kind of walking off, the baby reacts. Now, I believe the reaction of the mother has something to do with the baby. I really believe something like that's going on. Now, the main question is, what does that mean? Does that mean that the baby is trying to protect its mother, and that's why it was showing that aura? Or does the baby not like his mother acting like she was doing, and then that's why you see that menacing top aura come out? I don't know. But whatever the case may be, what we're seeing here is probably a Nin-Beast. That's what I think is going on. Because to refresh everybody's memory, if you've forgotten, before Hunter x Hunter went on its hiatus for a while, like its 2-year hiatus, we were revealed that, something similar to Spirit Beast that were used in Yu Yu Hakusho, we're now getting Nin-Beast. We're getting Nin-Beast that are being used in this series, and it's kind of, I guess, in a way, like a stand. I guess not the exact same, but the best way to kind of summarize it is a stand. And we're seeing this baby now kind of possessing a Nin-Beast. We don't get to see its form, but something is coming out of it, which might show that this baby could be very strong, one of the strongest of the princes, and I'm willing to bet most likely that might happen, because, Kurapika's protecting this baby. It's a baby, it's like a manga. Usually when it comes to manga, one thing you don't ever underestimate is old men and babies. That's something you never underestimate when it comes to the series. You just don't. Seriously. Would you, honestly, after reading Hunter x Hunter, would you underestimate old people? Just look at Netero. Just perfect example. Netero fuck people up. Like, it was too easy for Netero to fuck people up. So, when you're thinking about like that, you know for a fact old men you don't want to mess with when it comes to manga. But also babies too. There's a lot of strong babies in other series I have seen. So this baby most likely is going to be one of the strongest. And probably has one of the strongest Nin-Beast. I'm willing to place money on that. I'm willing to say that this baby probably has one of the strongest Nin-Beast. And it's probably going to be just someone that is just OP as fuck. Okay, so enough of that. One thing that we get in this chapter is details on what to expect and how the hunting ground is going to be. For instance, where the princes are going to be trying to have their fighting and assassinations going on is going to be mainly taking place on Deck 1 and Deck 2. It's Floor 1, Floor 2, and you have it to where they can't actually get down to Floor 3, 4, and 5. They can't really get down there at all because those floors are completely sealed off from Deck 1 and 2, which I want to go up to and pull up the picture, actually. Let me pull up the picture before I have it. Okay. So we have the top part where the princes are staying. Like, let me actually read this just panel here. The Blackwell has 5 decks. The first deck houses the royal family, for instance, the princes, and V5's political VIPs. So the main VIPs will be in the first deck, the ship on top of the well. The second deck has various celebrities and prominent figures, as well as the wealthy and upper class. So the second floor will be, like, a lot of wealthy people that have a lot of money, probably people that are sponsors and different stuff like that, people that are backing the princes or rooting for certain princes to win, and just stuff like that. Just wealthy people, very rich people that have a lot of pull in the world. That's what the second floor is. Now, let's read the next one. Let's see. as well as wealthy and upper class. Okay, the third deck and below is for the general public and regular passengers. So the third and below is for people that are just regular people that volunteered to come on the voyage. So that's pretty much what deck 3 and 5 is. It is exactly for people that don't have a lot of money. They're just coming just to have a good time. And it's not the best living quarters. They probably don't have as good a stuff as, you know, deck 2 and deck 1 has. But deck 3 and 5, they're being able to come on board and go to the new continent, the Dark Continent. The connecting pathways to each of the deck is being guarded by the royal troops and is being treated as under martial law. Now, this is very intriguing, because that would mean that if you try to go down forcibly to any floor or up any floor, it's treated as martial law. That means you will be killed on sight. That's a possibility. So nobody can go to, let's say, from 5, the 5th floor, to the 4th floor, 4th floor to the 3rd floor. You can't just do that. You can't go for the different floors. And also, the main decks are sealed off, floor 2 to 3. You can't undo it from either side. The only side you can open up to 2 to 3 is from the 2nd floor. So you can't go from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor. You have to actually be on the 2nd floor to open up the door to go to the 3rd floor. That's how you access it. So the only way, I guess, you can get through the floor is by blowing up the floor, I guess. Blowing a hole in the wall or something for you can actually get up to the next floor, the deck 2. So, very cool stuff. We come to find out that majority of the action is going to be taking place in floor 1 and 2, and I'm willing to bet, judging by the way the ship is designed, and judging by how the, you know, Phantom Trope, that they're actually going to be taking place in this arc, they're actually coming to the Dark Continent, they're getting on the ship, and we know Hisoka is following them. I'm willing to bet the entire situation with arson to theft to, you know, forgery and stuff like that that's going on the ship, and that, you know, Mizai was talking about, I'm willing to bet that has something to do with the Phantom Trope. I'm willing to place money on that, because we know they were going to be getting on the ship. They need to get to where the princes are. So there's a possibility that they're going to be trying to figure out how to get to the second and first deck. And Kurapika is trying to figure out how he can get down to the lower decks. And maybe Kurapika would be trying to figure out a way to how to get the mother and, you know, the prince out of the 2nd and 1st floor. They can go to the 3rd and 4th and 5th and be completely fine. Maybe that's what's going to be going on. And as the, you know, both sides, you know, the Phantom Trope and Kurapika are trying to go through the floor, they're probably going to meet up, which might cause a situation. We know what's going to happen as soon as Kurapika sees that Kuroto has his nin back. You know he's probably going to start some shit. He's probably going to try to kill them. And that's probably what's going to happen when he realizes they're there. And then Hisoka also being there is going to complicate a lot of matters as well. So I wonder exactly how this is going to turn out, because this is like the calm before the storm. That's exactly what this chapter is. It's a lot of setup, a lot of exposition for what to expect in the future of this arc. I mean, we have it to where the main bodyguards or the guards are going to be stationed and kind of sitting back and waiting until, you know, time passes before they can actually make their move. They're going to be mainly just, you know, holding back and just staying still and just keeping on guard. I like that a lot too. It reminds me a lot of the New York arc, or the York New arc. I don't know why I said New York. It reminds me of the York New arc. And I like that too. It reminds me a lot of when the, you know, the Phantom Trope was first introduced, because I love that arc. One of my personal favorite arcs besides, you know, the Chimera Ant arc. So yeah, I mean, this chapter overall, it's very interesting. I mean, we actually even have a death flag in this chapter, which I was kind of scared about. Yes, there is a death flag in this chapter. Let me go to the actual page to, let's see, talk about it. Okay, so Mizai he calls up Kurapika on the phone, and he's talking about what's going on here, and how, like, the entire ship is, like, going to probably be in a riot soon. Like, the deck 3 through 5 is going to be in a riot, because there's just so much shit going on down here. And, like, let me read this panel here. It appears a rumor that some criminal ring is causing people's tickets to be rendered invalid due to the person supposedly already being on board. Phantom Trope, most likely. That's easy to already see. That's already obvious that it's most likely them when it comes to that trouble right there, and the entire issues that's facing down in deck 3 through 5. So Mizai, he's talking about how the entirety of the deck is, like, just kind of crazy. The conditions are poor. There's not enough medics. The medical team is kind of just low right now. There's not enough, you know, medics or doctors to go around to help everyone out down here. And everybody up on the, you know, the 1st and 2nd floor, they're fine. They have enough medics to, you know, house, like, one doctor every 20 people, which that's ridiculous. It's really fucking ridiculous, and that's very poor management. That would mean that a lot of people in the deck 3 through 5 is going to be having some very struggled times. Thankfully, you know, Leorio might have some time to shine in this arc, thankfully, because, you know, he is a doctor. That's about it when it comes to this chapter, though. Oh, yeah, let me get back on the death flag before I end this video. Mizai says that this will be his last call, his last communications with Kurapika before they depart. So that's a death flag. That's straight up a fucking death flag. I really hope Mizai doesn't die because I like his character. There's a lot of potential with him, and I mean, with the Phantom Trope being there, Hisoka being there is a possibility. Mizai could die. I mean, it is a likely possibility. We know how Hisoka has kind of changed his mindset. He's no longer going to be going and letting people decide the battleground. He will be doing things his way. He'll be killing people without them even knowing. So yeah, that's really interesting. Mizai might die. He put a death flag on his head. The baby is carrying a stand. Kurapika is making his move. He's trying to use the chaos that's going down on the floors to his advantage. The mother realizes now she might be able to live. And I mean, a lot of other stuff going on. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.